It was victory formation at the end of the contest for the Lady Vols as they get back into the win column. 99-61, your final over the Tigers. Kim Caldwell putting a red light on that last possession as just a couple of seconds were left on the clock, but they get back into the win column, get a win here in SEC play, which they desperately needed, especially here at home, and that builds a lot of momentum heading into Sunday. Paige Dower on the field pass. We've got 3 takeaways following this game, the 3 things you should remember, if anything, after this win heading into Sunday. First, it's the assist, and it kind of has 2 branches to it. Honestly, they had 23 assists on the night. Auburn had about 17, and where we saw a lot of the production and success come from those assists is what they were able to do in the field, specifically in the paint. If we kind of look at our numbers real quickly, they had 12 paint points in the first quarter, 11 in the second quarter, and then had 18 paint points there in the second half. And we have not really seen this team be that aggressive and that physical, especially in the post and the paint, and it came from a number of players. Kanaya Boyd had a really nice layup. The most exciting one, though, probably came from Avery Strickland when she took the contested layup, took the hoop and the harm, and the Lady Vols bench absolutely erupted on the sideline. I have that video on my Twitter page, Paige Dower FDP, if you want to take a look at that. And you could just see how much excitement there was for Avery Strickland in that moment. Gets them to 99 points, and essentially everyone out on the court tonight maybe had an assist, but definitely had a bucket as well. And that really just highlights how much this team is in sync with each other. But maybe more than anything, it just shows us what Zee Spearman and Jewel Spear are doing, which kind of brings us to our second point. They're playing with as much confidence that we have seen this entire season. Specifically for Zee Spearman after the game, she says, yeah, you know, I was kind of just tired of getting yelled at, so that really does do a good job of helping to change your attitude. And she said that has helped her flip the switch. And then that gets us to Jewel Spear, who really is just incredibly confident right now. She says that's the main reason she's as good as she is from the 3-point line. In the fourth quarter alone, she was 3 of 3, I believe, and just continues to be very dominant for this team where they need that perimeter presence. I mean, Zee Spearman had a 3 as well, so did Jillian Hollingshed. Maybe she has the green light at this point. I think that's her 3rd 3-pointer on the year. And both of them together, you know, Zee's talking about how, you know, when you have a player like Jewel, that makes the team so much better. They're almost kind of forcing her to take these shots. And she's like, sometimes I don't realize how open I am, but then the teammates keep feeding me the ball. And she was dominant every which way. But the main thing that maybe we really should take away when we do turn our attention to the fact that there's about a handful of regular season games left, and more than not, you want to have SEC tournament success. And where the difference maker in those could be is the 3rd point, turnovers. For about the 4th straight game for the Lady Vols, they're turning the ball over more than their season average would indicate, and it's about 15 right now. Kim Caldwell revealed the magic number, it's 12. They've not been close to 12 these last 4 games specifically. The closest they got was 13 against South Carolina. They had about 18 tonight here against Auburn. They had 19 against LSU, 19 UConn, 17 Mizzou, and then 13 USC for South Carolina. So 4 straight games where they're above their average in that. And, you know, against LSU, Kim Caldwell's like, well, that's just their bread and butter. They're really good at that. We even said throw the ball out of bounds before you give them a live ball turnover. Here, a lot of it was sloppy play because they're playing too fast, and then you get these travel turnovers, which they got 2 of them quickly in the second half, kind of inflating those turnover numbers. So I think a lot of it's going to have to come down to the Lady Vols need to seriously take better care of the ball, and they need to be a little tougher too. You see a lot of these pickpockets and swiped balls happening when they're trying to drive to the rim, when they're driving, you know, in a lane that they find, and they're just not able to hold on to the ball because they're trying to cut through traffic, and maybe they're just not strong enough. Maybe they need to work on that a little bit, but they have got to take better care of the ball. They've got to have better passes is something else I really noticed contributing to the turnovers as well, especially against LSU, and even here tonight against Auburn, they probably had 3 or so due to bad passes. So that's definitely one thing that they're going to have to turn their attention to. Kim Caldwell says that's one factor that's really starting to concern her. I will be back Saturday as the Tennessee Volunteers get a rematch with Vanderbilt. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that. I'll be back tomorrow.